God said you will be rewarded tonight, 9th May 2025. And this is not a promise to be delayed nor a word to be taken lightly. It is spoken from the eternal now, where all things are already complete. You do not wait for the reward, you accept it. For in the mind of God, nothing is postponed. What you are to receive is already yours, already done, already sealed in the invisible. You have walked the long path of becoming, of hoping, of believing beyond reason. But tonight is not about waiting. It is about recognizing. The harvest comes not because the world gives it, but because you have accepted the truth of who you are. You are not the servant of circumstances. You are the cause of them, and the cause has spoken. Tonight, the reward is made visible. Let your senses be still, for they cannot show you the whole of what is unfolding. Look with the eye of imagination. See it, feel it, claim it. Do not ask when it will come. Ask only, can I accept that it is mine now? The answer is yes. The reward is not outside of you. It arises within, as your own consciousness outpictures itself in form. You will see the reflection, but the substance was always yours. Tonight there will be a shift, a release, an unveiling, not because the stars align, not because the world turns in your favor, but because you have aligned. Because you dared to believe that what you feel inwardly is more real than anything the world could deny you. And in that belief you've moved the mountain. You've whispered to the unseen, and it has answered you with substance. This is not the reward of labor in the outer world, but of faith in the inner realm. You stood still, and you knew. You dwelled in the secret place. You walked in the end, saw the thing accomplished. Touched the finished work with your soul. That is the true act of power. To dwell in the state of the wish fulfilled, and to know it is finished. So tonight, let there be joy. Let there be stillness. Let there be silence, where once there was striving. For the thing is done. The reward has never been uncertain. It was always waiting for your recognition. And now that you see it, it must appear. Not because the world has changed, but because you have changed. What you are to receive has already been called forth, and it will not return void. The word has gone out. It is already returning, full, abundant, multiplied. Tonight is not the beginning, it is the revealing. And it will feel like a miracle, though it is simply the law fulfilling itself, as it always does, through you. God said you will be rewarded tonight, 9th May 2025. And though your natural eyes may still search for signs, the truth does not depend on signs. It depends on your knowing. It is not waiting for confirmation, it is the confirmation. This is the moment where your inner word becomes flesh, not tomorrow, not in some distant future, but tonight, as sure as breath, as certain as the turning of the heaven. You have lived in states of lack, states of longing, states of hope. And all along, the true reward was not in the thing itself, but in the becoming. You have become someone who believes not just in possibilities, but in realities shaped by the unseen hand of awareness. What is awareness if not the creative force of God moving in you, through you, as you? So now the reward must come because you have fulfilled the law. You have not begged but assumed. You have not doubted but embodied. The one who dwells in the state of already having has no need to question. You have dared to live from the end, to speak the word of completion while the evidence was still silent. And because you did, the silence must give way to song. The invisible must take form. Tonight something shifts, because your inner world has declared it so. God does not wait on time, God waits on recognition. And now you recognize that the reward is not a result of outer striving, but inner alignment. You have heard the promise and you have said yes, not with your lips alone, but with your entire being. That agreement is what causes the world to reshape around you. Feel it now. Feel what has already arrived. The reward is not pending, it is present. This is the mystery made manifest, that nothing is truly given to you until you accept that it already is. And the moment you do, time collapses. Delays dissolve, obstacles bow. Why? Because creation is finished. The only work is alignment, not attainment. There is no distance between you and your answered prayer, only perception. And tonight perception is cleared. The fog of fear, the mist of waiting, the illusion of separation, gone. You no longer wait for evidence, you become the evidence. You no longer ask when, you say now, not out of impatience, but out of identity, because you know who you are. You are the child of promise, the vessel of fulfillment, the word made real. And this is your inheritance, not because you earned it, but because you claimed it. You claimed it in silence, in the dark, when no one else saw. You claimed it in tears, you claimed it in joy. You claimed it when the outer world said impossible, and you said already done. This is why you will be rewarded, not because of what happened outside, but because of what happened within. The kingdom was always within you, waiting to be acknowledged. And tonight that kingdom opens, not with trumpets, not with drama, but with peace, a quiet knowing, a still certainty. That is the sign, that is the key, that is the door. Let your imagination show you now what is already yours. Walk through the corridors of your fulfilled desire. Touch it with your mind. Breathe it into your chest. Speak from it. Live from it. For God rewards not by measure of need, but by measure of belief. And your belief has touched heaven. Your faith has moved the eternal. There are no delays in spirit. What looks like waiting is often preparation. What feels like silence is often echo. The thing you imagined weeks ago, months ago, even years ago, it did not vanish. It was taking shape, it was being clothed in flesh. And tonight it is ready to appear, because you are ready to see it. Can you feel the shift, the subtle turning of the inner wheel? That is the signal, that is the awakening. It is not emotion, it is realization, a quiet thrill that says, I know it. I don't need to see it to believe it. I see it because I already believed. That is creation. That is God in motion. You have crossed a line within yourself, and there is no turning back. You are no longer asking, you are becoming. You no longer chase, you welcome. And as you stand in this knowing, the entire universe reshapes itself to match your vibration. Your reward is personal, unique, precise, tailored to your inner vision. It was never a generic blessing. It is the echo of your own faith, the mirror of your assumption. What you dared to feel real will now return to you, pressed down, shaken together, running over. You will receive not just the thing, but the awareness that you called it forth. And that knowing is the greatest reward. Because once you know you can create one thing, you know you can create all things. Tonight's blessing is not just provision, it is confirmation. Confirmation that you are the operant power. That imagination is not fantasy. It is the womb of reality. You are not subject to the opinions of the world. You are not a servant to the facts of the past. You are the one who declares the thing and sees it come to pass. And you have declared it. You have sat in the silence and spoken the unseen. You have lived in the unseen long enough. It now demands visibility. But tonight is sacred, not because of the date, but because of the decision. The decision to finally accept what has always been true, that you are one with the source, that what you ask, believing you have received, you shall have. not by striving, not by effort, but by identity. You have received. Let your spirit hold it. Let your breath carry it. Let your speech reflect it. Speak not as one hoping, but as one possessing, because the moment you felt it real, it became real. It may have seemed invisible, but that was only the seed. Now, the harvest. Let the world say what it will. Your reward is not from the world, it is from God. It is from within. And that which comes from within can never be taken, never be shaken, never be denied. It has the seal of the eternal upon it. All things are already yours. Not someday, not soon, now. That's the mystery so few dare to embrace. But you have. That's why tonight the veil parts. That's why tonight the promise manifests. Not because it just began, but because you finally saw that it was always there. And so you walk differently, you move differently. You speak with the still confidence of one who knows. You are no longer becoming, you are revealing. And every step from this moment forward carries the vibration of one who has seen the end and lives in its truth. Others may ask, how did it happen so suddenly? But you will know, it didn't happen tonight. It happened the moment you believed. Tonight is simply when the world caught up. You will not explain. You will not justify. You will only shine. Because the reward is not only in what you receive, it is in what you have become. You are the evidence. You are the manifestation. You are the testimony of the unseen made visible. This is why God said you will be rewarded tonight. Because God's word is not future tense. It is fulfilled. Because you did not wait for the world to convince you, you convinced the world through your inner certainty. And so creation bends to your knowing. Reality obeys your word. The seed has become fruit. The dream has become form. And nothing can undo it. Nothing can reverse it. It is sealed by consciousness, confirmed by faith, and revealed by divine timing. The time is not coming. The time is. The door is not opening. The door is open. The blessing is not arriving. The blessing is here. Breathe it. Embrace it. Expect it. Not as a guest, but as your own reflection returning home. For tonight God rewards the one who believed before they saw, the one who loved the unseen, the one who lived in the end. And now the atmosphere around you begins to echo what has long lived within you. The outer begins to conform, not by force but by law. For when the inner man is transformed, the outer must follow. This is not speculation, it is certainty. It is the law of consciousness in motion, and it does not fail. You have lived long enough in the shadow of waiting. Now you stand in the light of fulfillment. And the light does not ask permission to shine. It simply does. There is no struggle left in you. You have come to the holy stillness where desire and fulfillment are no longer two separate things. They are one, interwoven, inseparable. And because you have refused to doubt, because you have refused to entertain lack, the reward rushes to you not from without but from within, like a river breaking through a dam that could no longer contain its pressure. You may not know the exact form it will take, but you know the feeling, and that is enough. The form must obey the feeling. The image must match the state. That is why you no longer worry about how it will come. You no longer negotiate with time. You walk in the assumption that the unseen is more real than anything your senses can verify. And that assumption, fully embraced, makes you a magnet for the thing itself. Tonight the world will not understand what changed, but you will know. Something within you crystallized, something firmed. And in that firmness, in that unshakable stance, you altered the fabric of your world. The power was always yours, not to force, but to imagine. not to chase but to embody, not to ask but to dwell. And because you dared to dwell, you now receive. It may seem like coincidence to the mind that doubts, but to you it is perfect order, divine sequence, a straight line from assumption to manifestation. You are no longer looking for signs, you are the sign. Your state of being is the signal to all that is that you are ready, and what is yours must now find its way into your visible world. There is a richness to this moment, a quiet majesty, because you know you did not need to beg, barter, or strive. You simply needed to remember. To remember who you are, to remember what is already yours, to return to the awareness that your Father knows what you have need of before you ask, and that asking is not pleading, but accepting. And tonight you accept. You accept without resistance. You accept without questioning. You accept without apology. You no longer shrink back. You no longer analyze whether you are worthy. You simply say, yes, this is mine. Because when God says, you will be rewarded, there is no room for doubt. There is only space to receive. You understand now that what you accept inwardly is what the world must reflect. That's why you no longer fear delay. Delay has no power where there is certainty. Delay is only an illusion for the one who still questions. But you have moved past questioning. You have stepped into the holy boldness of knowing. And that knowing has opened the heavens. You see within a vision. You hear the silent answer. You taste the sweetness of fulfillment before it ever touches your lips. Because you are not waiting for the thing, you are being the one who has it. That shift is everything. That shift is the real miracle. You are unmoved by appearances. The outer world no longer holds the final word. Your imagination is the source, the script, the lawgiver. And the reward, though it comes tonight, is not new. It is ancient. It was spoken over you long ago, written into the fabric of your being before time itself began. And now it blooms. Let others search the skies for signs. Let others consult facts and figures. You stand in a deeper truth. You stand in the revelation that reality bends to consciousness, that your inner world precedes your outer one, that you are not the echo, you are the voice. Not the effect, you are the cause. So when the door opens tonight, you will not be surprised. You will not question whether you deserve it. You will not shrink under the weight of it. You will walk through it with grace, with ease, with the quiet dignity of one who knew it was already theirs. That is the posture of the one who receives. That is the posture of the awaken. There is a stillness in you now that nothing can disturb, because your faith is no longer something you hope will work. It is something you know cannot fail. You have touched the deeper law, the creative principle. You have spoken the word in silence, and now the silence speaks back, and it says yes. Yes to the vision. Yes to the dream. Yes to the reward. Not as compensation for effort, but as reflection of state. You do not receive what you want, you receive what you are. And tonight, you are the embodiment of answered prayer. You are the fulfillment in flesh. Feel the world yielding to you now. Feel reality rearranging itself around your inner conviction. There is no strain in this, only unfolding, only revelation, only divine inevitability. What you planted in imagination has taken root, and now the fruit appears. Not because it was earned, but because it was believed. This is the deep magic, the divine truth, that what you hold in consciousness is what the world must mirror. You understand now why nothing was ever denied to you. It was only waiting for your assumption. And the moment you assumed it, real, you collapsed the distance between seen and unseen. Let that truth flood your being. Let it carry you past all doubt, all fear, all hesitation. You are no longer at the mercy of what others believe. You are no longer ruled by appearances. You are governed by inner vision, led by inner knowing, moved by inner confirmation. That's why the world must yield to you tonight, because you have finally yielded to yourself. You no longer resist the blessing. You no longer argue with the promise. You no longer wonder if you're ready. You know you are. And that knowing is the seed of everything. That knowing is the place where heaven and earth meet. That knowing is where the invisible takes form. That knowing is what changes the temperature of your reality. You've lived long enough in the valley of hope. Tonight, you stand on the mountain of manifestation. And the view is not new, it's just clearer now. Because you see not with eyes, but with awareness. You see not possibility, but fact. Inner fact. And inner fact must become outer form. Let that assurance rise in your chest like breath. Let it steady your feet. Let it color your words. You are the one who believed. You are the one who stood still and knew. You are the one who dared to declare it is done, when nothing yet has changed. And now everything changes. Let it come. Let it flood. Let it overflow. You are not afraid of the reward. You do not flinch at abundance. You do not second guess the blessing. You embrace it as a rightful extension of who you are. Because that's what the reward really is. You made visible. You clarified. You reflected. Others may see the thing, but you know the truth behind the thing, the truth that you imagined it, felt it, assumed it, lived in it, long before it ever came. And now it must come. It must appear. Not by chance, but by law. Not by effort, but by faith. Not by force, but by alignment. You are aligned now. In mind, in body, in vibration, in speech, in action. You are no longer split between belief and doubt. You are one whole being, unified in the state of the wish fulfilled. And that state calls forth the form. That state is the magnet. That state is the command. So when the reward touches your hands tonight, remember this. It came not because of what you did, but because of who you dared to become. It came because you remembered the truth. You returned to the throne of your imagination and claimed it as reality. You crowned yourself not with arrogance, but with awareness. The universe obeys awareness. It answers imagination. It mirrors conviction. That is the law. That is the word. That is why the reward was never a matter of if, only when. And the when is now. You have crossed the threshold. You have walked through the invisible door. The moment is here, not just in time, but in vibration, in consciousness, in being. And so the reward tonight cannot be denied. So now, rest in the truth that it is finished. There is nothing left to chase, nothing more to prove. You have aligned, and the harvest responds. Let tonight be the moment you no longer look outward for evidence, but inward for confirmation. For the reward is not only arriving, it has already arrived in you. Let peace be your posture. Let gratitude be your language. Let knowing be your foundation, because God has spoken and your spirit has answered. And what is spoken by God and received in truth must manifest. Not someday, not soon, tonight.